Okay, so I think we are live. I see the little live dot. Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Alexa Weitzman. I use she, her pronouns. This is the Queens Community Board 6 Diversity Education Community Engagement Committee meeting and listening session. And we are live streaming on YouTube. If you're here and you see yourself on the screen, you are a board member or someone that has signed up to present tonight or to speak tonight. And this will be hopefully a series. So if you're catching this on the rerun, we will do it again. And we hope to do this, so that we have an opportunity to hear from as many people in our community as we can. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to co-chair Martha Tucker, who will be doing the moderation tonight. So go ahead, Martha.
Good evening. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. And tonight we are going to host a virtual listening session to hear from the community neighbors on the topic of diversity, equity, and inclusion in Forest Hills and Rego Park. The DECE committee is working to create a safe place for neighbors to be heard and listened to by members and each other. We would like to invite you to join us. So please, if you've signed up, we will allow 5 minutes for you to present, share, so we can listen and indulge. This will be the first event in a series of listening sessions planned by the Diversity, Education, and Community Engagement Committee. And I thank everybody for participating tonight and their input. The first person I would like to call tonight would be Grace. Grace would love to share. Grace Pelicano is reading a poem, and we would love to listen to her and support her and share. Is she on?
So I see that Grace says she's waiting to be let in, but I don't see anyone.
I have an email. Would that help?
No, it's not set up like a waiting room situation. So I don't see her as an attendee. Maybe.
Alexa and
yeah.
Martha, I have Grace on the phone. Can you hear her? I don't know, Grace, do you want to try to say something? Hi, Grace.
Yes, I'm right here.
Yeah, we can hear Grace. If we could do a relay of Grace. That's amazing.
Well, you can hear me over my phone, but you can't hear me over the computer.
They can hear you over the computer.
We can. Grace, if you can please share. Thank you very much. And we'll be able to definitely listen to you.
Okay, can you see me?
Unfortunately not, but we can hear you.
Okay, so I'm willing to do whatever it is you want to do. If you want me to read the poem, I could do that without a visual, but it's entirely up to you.
Please proceed with reading the poem. We appreciate it. Thank you. Kevin, tell her to proceed with the poem. Maybe she can't hear me.
Grace, if you're setting up, we're ready whenever you are.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Grace Pelicano, and I'm a volunteer of the Diversity, Education, and Community Engagement Committee. Our program this evening involves us to listen. And with that, I invite you to listen to the poet Langston Hughes.
You can proceed, Grace. Kevin, tell her she can proceed.
Grace, you can proceed with the poem.
I guess she's having technical difficulties, Kevin.
Yeah, I'm not hearing from her.
Okay. If you could try to text her, and maybe she can join us back in that way.
Okay.
And
I'll put myself on mute.
Okay. Alexa, should I proceed to the next speaker or wait for Grace?
Yeah, we can always circle back to Grace.
Find any available Bluetooth speakers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the next speaker I would like to present would be Max Freeman. Max Freeman, can you please introduce yourself? Oh,
He was actually he was canceled.
Okay. I didn't get that. I'm sorry. The next speaker I have is Edgar Alfonseca. Edgar, can you please join us and share?
Thank you, Martha. Hello, everyone. My name is Edgar. I am a new resident of Forest Hills. My wife and I just moved here a few months ago, since we've been living here since May. And, we're both born and raised in Queens, and, we're really invested in the community and trying to get a sense of where we are and also where things are heading with the community, because we, as new homeowners, we're really invested in just in living here the long term. So I was really excited to see this opportunity to have this, what I think is a really important discussion. I identify as Latino, and I'm not here to speak on behalf of all Latinos. Let's get that out of the way. We're not a monolith. My views are expressly mine, whatever I'm about to say. But for me, as we were thinking about where we were going to live. I'm a data-driven person. That's kind of the role I play every day. And so I couldn't help but just look at statistics on demographics for neighborhoods and communities. And something that really stood out to me as we were making the decision to live here is the racial distribution of residents in this community in CB6. And so something that I found, according to the NYU Furman Center statistics, is that the community here is mostly white and Asian. White represents, according to 2019 data, white is 61.7% of the community, and Asian is 21.4%. And I'm happy to actually show my screen to kind of share these statistics because, but I don't think I can actually. So, so that's big for me because I was born and raised here in Queens in Astoria, and I grew up in a predominantly Black Latino neighborhood. So it's a big shift for me personally. And I just want to learn more about what the community board and folks are doing in terms of trying to kind of approach these statistics with curiosity and trying to see if there are any efforts in terms of making this community more representative of what the demographics of the city look like, which are not this. It's heavily skewed towards white and Asian. So I'm not here to solve racism or anything like that, but as someone who identifies as Latino and definitely I'm thinking of growing my family, I just want to learn more about where is this something that's a priority, to see how we can make maybe this community more representative of what the city looks like, or not. So that's pretty much what I wanted to raise and have an opportunity to say. So thank you all for your time, and I just want to hear more and be more involved in this. So thank you.
Martha, you're on mute.
Thank you for sharing that with us, Kevin. Your words are definitely appreciated. Kevin, were you able to reach Grace?
No, I
Okay.
did not hear from her, but I sent her the join by phone number and the access code.
Okay. So we will present the next speaker, Judith Berman. Thank you for joining us, Judith.
I don't see Judy either.
Okay.
And I'm keeping an eye on my phone as well, so she hasn't contacted me.
Okay. So Grace would be the last speaker. Oh, actually, we had one more, Kevin, a late edition.
Yeah. So one of our committee members, Mark Laster, volunteered to read and discuss an excerpt.
Okay. Mark, please.
Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you. So
Joining us.
I saw this article in the Washington Post over the weekend, and it just caught my attention because this is an issue that I have a lot of questions about, and unfortunately, I think this issue will resonate also in our community, given what's going on. So the lesson that cost him his job. Amid a growing furor over critical race theory, Matthew Horn told his high school students that white privilege is a fact. So I'm just going to read. I'm not going to read the whole article, obviously. I'm just read excerpts that I think pertain to that topic. A lifelong resident of Kingsport, Horn was well aware his liberal views made him an outliner in his overwhelmingly white, mostly conservative community. But that had never mattered before. He had taught in the Sullivan County school system for 16 years without any trouble. And he had taught the class that got him fired, contemporary issues, for nearly a decade without a single parent complaint. Then at the start of last school year, he made a pronouncement during a discussion about police shootings that would derail his career. White privilege, he told nearly all white class, is a fact. Horn apologized after at least one parent objected, but a few months later, he assigned the Ta-Nehisi Coates essay, The First White President, spurring more parent complaints. This time, school officials issued a letter of reprimand to Horn for one-side teaching. After that, Horn promised to stay away from the topic. But in late April, a student mentioned white privilege during a class discussion about the trial of Derek Chauvin, the white Minneapolis police officer who murdered George Floyd by kneeling on his neck on the black man's neck. And Horn could not help himself. He navigated through YouTube and pulled up White Privilege, a scathing and profane 4-minute poetry performance by Kyla Janae Lacey. Oh, am I making you uncomfortable? Said the black writer demands at one point. Try a cramped slave ship. I will probably get fired for showing this, Horn joked before hitting play. Less than a month later, he was fired. I will probably get fired. His firing comes amid a tsunami of conservative outrage about critical race theory, an academic framework for examining systemic racism in the United States that educators contend is rarely taught in public schools. Horn said he had never heard of critical race theory until he was accused of teaching it. Martha, you're on mute again. I'm sorry.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you. I appreciate it. At this time, I would like to see if maybe we can call Grace and put her on speaker. Would that be an option? Do you think that would work? Kevin?
I can try again.
Okay.
Let me...
And because she's our last speaker, and if not, then we'd wrap it up.
Well, Martha, would you mind if I just say one thing in the meantime while we're contacting?
No, please.
Grace, I just wanted to, for those, I mean, I know everyone on the screen has been part of the process except for Edgar, but in case, just to have a little bit of context attached to this meeting for those that are watching on YouTube, this committee was really a partnership between community members and our board. And we came up with this idea together as a way of learning about people's perspectives who live in this community. And so the idea of a listening session would be just what Edgar did. He came and he spoke, and we witnessed what he had to say. And if you notice, none of us answered him or said anything. It's possible that we might do that after, but this space was just a space to kind of witness and have Edgar be heard and have him provided with a place where he can be heard. So just so people think, just so people know that this isn't the problem-solving space. This is just, well, this is part of problem solving, I believe, but it's not looking for solutions right in here in the minute. It's just providing the safe space, which is what Martha said in the beginning. So hopefully we can do more of these, and maybe this was the first and people can see what it was like and then come, because we want to hear from everyone that wants to speak, and there's time for everyone. So thank you.
Thank you.
Grace says she will try to dial in. We can give
Okay.
her a few minutes on this. Yeah.
Also put on the record that WebEx is not easy. We've had
And
some,
honestly, I just want to say, I spoke to Grace over the weekend. She was so looking forward to this.
I know.
She
I-
really wanted to, and she was anxious about it. You know, so
We did a
I feel
run through yesterday, and it was so beautiful. And I really want that's,
Yeah,
I
it
wanted
was-
to enable her.
we
Yeah.
can, you know, there will be more times because there will be more listening sessions.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I wonder if this meeting on WebEx is set up differently for phone, that it doesn't accept phone. I don't know.
Well, that's why I kind of wanted to just call her directly and put her on speaker, and this way we can hear her. You know, to just override the WebEx. Do you think that's a thought?
Yeah. So that's actually what I did the first time, which
Okay.
is how we were able to hear her. But then we lost her.
We lost her. Okay.
Lost her.
Okay. So I guess we can give her a couple more minutes and then invite her to the next session for sure.
I think Natalie's trying to speak and she's on mute. Oh, no? Okay.
No, my daughter's doing homework. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Multitasking.
Sorry.
Sorry.
It's good to show what multitasking looks like for those that don't do it.
She was asking me, what is this meeting for? Because she's sitting next to me and she's listening. So
Aw.
I was explaining it.
So out of respect for everybody's time, should we just invite Grace to the next one?
Yeah. Yes.
She's a member of the committee, so.
Okay. I apologize to Grace. I mean, I feel so badly about this, but she will definitely speak at the next meeting. I would love to hear it because it was such a beautiful piece. So I guess we are wrapping up tonight's session. I want to thank everybody for joining. I want to thank everybody for sharing. The mission was to create a safe space for everybody in the neighborhood, and I hope we created that. So thank you. Alexa, thank you. Kevin, thank you. Mark, and everybody who's participated tonight. Thank you so much. And have a wonderful weekend.
Thanks, Martha.
And holiday.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Till
Bye.
next time. a good night.
Good night.
Good night.